Right. We're going to do something a little different tonight. I shared with my guest over here to the left. I don't know my guest over to the right. I tried to tell them a little bit. This is Trending Tuesdays. Labor Day was yesterday. And you're looking for Jeff. Y'all know Jeff running for mayor. He's everywhere. But he had a council meeting tonight, and we were going to pre-record and or not, and just, because next week, he'll be available. But we thought about it. There's some of us that come out, and you Trending Tuesdayers who come out all the time, we appreciate you. So what we decided to do was do a little special where we pre-recorded it yesterday, actually, so we want you to watch it. But then we decided, it's Labor Day weekend, that I want to feature the folk that are that are here. You guys are going to be the guests. We're going to open the mic up, and we're going to talk about a few things, because I think, for people to be consistent like you guys are, there's something special about you. You know what I'm saying? And so we thought, we'll turn the mics up. We're going to have you go up in the podium, and that'll be your spot. And we can let you talk a little bit about how your Labor Day was. Talk a little bit about what Labor Day means, and a little bit about, whatever's on your mind. Okay? We're gonna, put you on the clock. You can't just ramble now. But somebody told me that they asked me about voting. And we tried to do a voters registration drive. We didn't do real great last time because we didn't know what we were doing. We ended up going to the school and going out and realized we had to pull people in to vote. They're just not gonna come to you. You need to go where folk are and stuff. And she mentioned that, so I told her, no, when we do this thing and you're talking, make sure you bring that up. And then we got the experts over there, Pure Justice, who can tell us how we can make sure we do just that, okay? So I'm ready, Avery. And for those of you that are online, or what have you, know that we're gonna go live once we run it. And you just give us a few minutes and we'll get our questions lines up, and we're gonna keep going. The chef is back there doing his thing. So as usual, we'll talk a little bit about what's good for you and being good to you at the same time, okay? Well, I'm ready, Avery. Welcome to Trending Tuesdays. I'm your host, Danette Davis. Today we're kicking off a very special Labor Day edition. We called it Labor of Love. And what better way to celebrate than by featuring our very own Chef Eddie, affectionately known as Chef Eddie in Motion. Now this is the first in a 4-part special series where we're highlighting Chef Eddie's journey in organic gardening, cooking, and living well. We call this one Okra Shenanigans, a chef's tale. From urban gardening tips to flavorful, health-conscious recipes, Chef Eddie is taking cooking to the next plateau. Sorry, folks, there's no bacon in the beans or greens, but trust me, you won't miss it. His farm-to-table menus are pure pleasure. Now, let's catch up with Chef Eddie. He's in his garden.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the garden. Another day before the storm comes here in Houston, Texas. Sunny side, by the way. This is just some of the maintenance stuff I wanted to do before. Yeah, I always have to come out every day, every other day, especially when it's producing, to check on stuff, make sure there's no grasshoppers and other things, uninvited guests up in there. So I'm gonna come through. I was supposed to trim some of the lower leaves. The lower leaves are through picking up their photosynthesis. The upper leaves is the ones that take in all the better nutrients. So you thin it out, allow more sun to get in through the stalks, and it makes for interesting harvest. What's unique about this is you're looking at about 5 different genera, they call them genera, of okra from different parts of the world, all over the world. Some of the first early albumosis, I can't pronounce it today, but is in the squash family. It is in the flower family, originated out of Africa, and there's a lot of literature on that, about that. But what's unique is this year is the first year I was able to successfully germinate all the different species that I had here. So now, as I let some of these go to seed, I'll have a great crop for next season to go. And these seeds are now conditioned for Houston. Whereas before, when I got that seed pack, they were conditioned for where they grew from. And then I got them from the organic grower, and he shipped them to me. And now my seeds are now conditioned to Houston weather and all its idiosyncrasies. So that's kind of neat to know. All organic. You got to have organic, you guys.
What is this?
This is Yalova Akoi. This one's called Yalova Akoi. It's from Turkey.
Ah.
It's from Turkey, and it looks a lot like the heavy hitter. The flowers and the leaves look much like the heavy hitter, and we'll get to the heavy hitters in a minute. But I tried to plant more of the Yalova Akois that I could, and what I do when I come out, I have my little snippers, keep them in my thing, and you want to just kind of grab it. About 4 or 5 inches long is real good. And when you cut them at the stem, boom, they just cut right off. If you're really concerned, you really don't need any scissors when they're this young. You can just take them like this and pop them if they had enough water. Pop, see, it just pops.
So these are the same.
Yeah, those are the same. I got some more of the heavy hitters there. That one's called Motherland Okra from Ghana. Motherland Okra from Ghana.
Show us.
What you talking about? They have interesting bulb and interesting flowers. All the flowers are edible, you guys. So when the flowers bloom, they're self-pollinated, so they don't need anything to help them. The bees don't have to do anything, and I just come out and get my flower and all my nutrients and my minerals, trace minerals and stuff just from the flower. No ants, nothing, no bugs, nothing. So I just come out and try to get some of the small ones at the top. It's still kind of soft. They can get bigger, but you want them to be tender. These are fighting my region, so I'm thinking next year the crop is going to be more conditionable. On the picture, they were like almost as big as a baseball, and I couldn't imagine they would be tender and edible at that point. But so I let them go to seed. Some of the ones you see going to seed, the brown ones going to seed, and I'll clip them. They're already ready to be roasted in the oven, or I can extract the oil out of them now without having to add extra heat to dehydrate them inside. So that is Yalova Akoi. This is the regular species. I don't know if you can tell from here, but they're real smooth. We're going to see a wild species that made it in the pack. And my grower said he thought he pulled all the wild species out. He's so sorry. I said, it's cool that you apologize. That's half the battle. Real smooth. The wild species have thorns from gates of hell itself.
Okay.
You'll see. Okay, so I just usually come out there. Oh, get this bag. Boom, boom.
What is this one?
This is called cowhorn. This one's called cowhorn. We're kind of rushing through because we don't want it to become a spot in the stain. This is real tender. I can tell just by the length of it.
Yeah.
Pop. And that's what you want to do. Just go out there, pop it, bend it back, and don't go that way. Just bend it at the thing, but don't piss it off and go down the stem and make the stem rip. You want to snap it right at the stem and leave that intact.
Is this what we usually see in Houston or Texas, or that looks like that as far as okra?
No.
No, that's not what it normally looks like that to me. No, oh, smooth.
It's real smooth.
Smooth.
The ones you see in the stores usually crimson spineless, and they don't even sell these in the stores.
What are they called?
Cowhorn.
No, the others that you said we
Crimson
normally
spineless.
see. What are other people need to hear what you're saying.
Crimson spineless. I said it.
Okay, did you hear that, Avery? I couldn't spell it. Spell it. Spell it.
Like Clemson, Clementine, Clemson.
Okay, there you go.
Come on, here we come.
They need to know. I know you're rushing, but people are wanting to. Oh, look at this. These are the same.
So the leaves, you see how the leaves look different? Look a little different than the other. They kind of fan out a little bit more. They're not as sharp. As a matter of fact, they're real similar. These are called heavy hitter, and they grow in clusters. Like, see right here? There's a cluster right here.
Yeah. Look at that.
They grow in clusters. There's even a couple of them by you, Avery. They get so big and so full, they get
1, 2, 3.
mad.
Sam.
Let me grab these two here. These three here. So they get mad. If they had water and had a lot of nutrients, even though they're big, they can still be tender. There's another one that we're going to get over there, and that one gets soft even though it's big. See if I can grab one of those. Oh, this is Alabama red. They call it Alabama red.
Oh, it's red too.
The stem is red, and it always has a little reddish little tip on them, depending on how nutrients, nutrients they got, and kind of what's going on. So that's 3 species right there. See, they just
it's actually red. Look at that.
You come out each day and kind of check and make sure ain't nothing weird going on. And see, when they're small like this, I can work these all day long. Just pop them off, and ain't no problem. And see, even these, I can feel a little bit of aggressive thorns, hairs on them, I call them, and they soften up when you cook them. I even eat some of these raw. Every couple of days, I usually fill up a big old bag with all the different blends. So I'm really picking a lot out of this great weather we're having here lately. Get a couple more of these out of here before we get the rain done.
So I have a lot tomorrow.
Interesting colors, huh? Look how they got that sun-kissed Texas thing going on. See, the sun, that's morning sun. So West is over there. West kind of blocks it, so it gets that morning sun, and that's why she's so red right here. She's responding to the sunlight. The sunlight hits it on this side more than the other. So that's why it's important to let it breathe, let the plant breathe and do its thing. What else we got? Any more? Okay. I want to show you a couple of my watermelons. These are some personal watermelons. This one's ready to go. Oh, already snapped.
Can't control where a watermelon goes, huh?
So
they show up everywhere.
This is a personal watermelon. It's from Turkey.
Yeah, I'm just dropped.
I like Turkey. Turkey has a lot of interesting greens that I don't know where they got them from, straight out of the motherland, but for the black folks in Turkey, I have to say. So pull that one. And then any more out here, I can just see some of these. I'll make a couple more days. I don't have to just trip, but if you want a easy saute, see that this one go a little tougher, but still soft. I always give them a little bend toward the end, and that lets them know they're soft. If you squeeze them with the vein, you can still run into toughness, but if you squeeze against it, you can feel it's kind of soft. Heat on them, and all that's gone anyway. But these are unusual harvest times. I've been looking for this rain for a long time. I haven't been able to wait on it. So what I do is I'm able to capture the the water from the air conditioning system, and a big old 11,000 gallon rain barrel is what I use. Uh-oh, here comes the rain, you guys.
I know. Hey, question.
Right down the street.
Look at this.
It laid over. It got strong. Can you see the root system, Avery? So here's another watermelon. This one's ready to go. See, Avery? When they're brown like that, that's all she's going to produce. It doesn't mean it's not sweet. It just means that's all she's going to produce. I got some more all along the fence line over there, too. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll pull some of those, too.
Here's some over here, Avery. You can slow down.
This root system. Oh, okay. This root system is pretty amazing for this one. it found nutrients that it liked. And if the wind comes along, blows them down, you just come through and prop a stick up and make a stick for them and prop them back up, which is not a problem at all.
Look at that.
Uh,
Look what they do.
this
And
is-
all of these were okras, huh? You cut every one of them along the way.
Along the way, yes. When you see the
See
that
how it
top hill.
produces.
What I did here
Oh, there's
is,
a watermelon. Oh, Tanya, look. Ooh,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God.
Just
6,
lay it
7.
out
Oh
and
shoot,
drop.
they're everywhere.
when the plant
You see the watermelon? Look at it. It's just dumps.
the feeler plant, the feeler, it looks for
Calm
something
down.
to grab on, and once it grabs on it, then it'll start dropping the watermelon. Let's see if I can get a couple I missed the other day. A couple of big ones here.
Oh, here's okra at the top of the thing is we have to climb to get some of these because if we don't get a freeze, it just keeps growing. Just
Absolutely.
look at that. And then we end up having to do just what that one does and pull them over because until you get a freeze, that sucker just keep growing to the sky. Look at the one behind me.
You always miss one or two, and you try to
Yeah.
come back and catch it because that's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, look at these behind you, Edwin. Chef, look at that's almost at the. What are you gonna do? It's about to hit the.
Oh, yeah. Let me snatch that and throw them in the bag. Let's see. There's my
Whoever
bag.
thought you'd have to worry about that with the
Ah.
lines.
Yeah, they're pretty
Look at
tall.
that.
They love the water
You see
to an
that? You see that
extent.
one time?
What I found out is Avery, like, see that one? See this watermelon down there, Avery? She still got a green tip. She's not ready to pull. She's still pulling water and moisture. When the others brown up, it's ready to pull. She's not sucking any more nutrients up. Some of the other ones get all the nutrients out of itself, and I don't
2, 3,
mind.
4, 5.
This is my first time growing
Yes, they just-
melons like this, and
Just drop wherever I want to.
this is just one seed, and it just took off and ran. Even over the neighbor's side of the fence. He said, "Man, watermelon's going over the fence." I was going to say something, but I decided to keep them. He said, "I was just about to pick him, and my lawn man cut him up and ripped him up with his weed eater." He said, "Man, what is wrong with you? You never had seen a watermelon? He thought it was a weed, really?" He just cut it up and left it there all cut up and whacked it
Look
with
at
a
you
weed
with
eater.
them tennis shoes on. To throw them out, throw the bugs
Okay, is that it? Any more big ones?
out. Big snails.
Okay. Go around here.
Yeah.
Each day I come through and I try to. Now this is kind of neat, you guys. I got a bottle of lemon ammonia, and I got a Tupperware bowl down there. Drilled a couple holes in it, put a paper towel in there, a little bit of water, and about a cup full of ammonia. And the kitty cat's been coming over here having a ball, so I run them off. They don't like that smell. So here's some more of these. And like I said, I pretty much got most of these. Each time I drive by and I miss some, I'll try to come through, get some more.
Oh my God! Look
We've
at
been
all
waiting
of
on rain
these.
for a long time. If we hold our breath waiting on rain,
Look at
your
this.
crop ain't gonna make it. Once again, you gotta schedule your time and get out here at the best window you can, and it's nothing like it. The plants love it. Even my captured water is not the same as rainwater, so I'm enjoying it and taking it all in, you guys. Okra has a unique flavor, and it doesn't require a whole lot of seasoning. All the more natural, nutritional herbs and vegetables, you don't have to do a lot to them because they're intense in themselves. You don't have to add a bunch of stuff to them to hide or mask the flavor. You really want to wake the flavor up so you can catch it in a nutrient powerhouse, wholesome. This is farm and table, what we're going to do right now. This is farm and table in its essence. Grow it, pick it, use it.
Okay. Which okra dish are you gonna make?
Let's just do a little blend of all of them. Let's do a little quick saute. Okay. This, like that. I'll tell you what, I'll do these over here. Get over there. Okay.
When you talk about okra, some people wonder why okra. What's the fascination with okra?
Huh. Yeah. It's just the healing properties alone. The nutritional and the trace minerals that you get.
Give it back to us.
Yes, the trace minerals that you get are absolutely amazing. It has a lot of claims, and just because it's been a staple, a traditional staple in the African diet, I tend to believe those claims and more. There's something that got us over to the new land across the waters. There's stories of enslaved folks actually braiding the seed in their hair and making a great passage over the water. It's pretty amazing. So this is one little thing I do. I always use a knife that has a good little tongue part, and then you can go in there at an angle and get that core out of there. Once you get the core out of there, you can, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a lot of little fibers in there, and if you don't bother the fibers, you shouldn't cry. That's just one way to do that. You go for the core first, and then you can cut to your heart's content. Now, what I'm gonna do is just go like this. Take that first outer skin off. It's a very quick and simple thing. Yellow onions are loaded with quercetin. Okra doesn't have quercetin, so that's why they complement each other. They're both root vegetables to a certain extent. Some people call okra a fruit. I call it a flower. But you need a little quercetin. You need the antioxidant power of the onion. So what I do is, just based on how much I got, I'm going to wash the okra off in a second. I just put a little bit of olive oil, kind of get it started.
Does it matter what oil you use?
Yeah. The oil you use determines everything. It's just the oleanic properties of olive oil and its rich, cold-pressed flavor is the healthiest oil on the planet, and it doesn't require a whole lot of heat, which is great for pots that don't require a whole lot of heat and foods that you don't require a whole lot of heat to exhaust all of the nutrient value. So you want to keep that nutrient value intact. Let's see this bag, and I'm going to chop a few. Actually,
You gonna wash like that?
right where you are, underneath there's a metal basket. Just give me one of those. Yeah, my baby. Here's a story. When, I guess, May, June, I'll go out there and get one of these. And then as June ended, and I was getting two of these, and then I outglued both baskets, and I went to the big old bags. I thought it was pretty amazing. I was like, okay, we're making progress. So this is the first year I grew so many okra, so many varieties and so many things happening at once. Just give them a little wash. You can tell how healthy the plant is if there's any ants, if there's anything eating it. They just look unbothered, unfettered, and that's what you want. The seed is organic, the soil is organic, my processes is organic, so there's actually nothing in here that's going to hurt you. So you don't have to go aggressive with a vinegar or soap water solution or something. This is all you need. Just hit a little bit of water and let it drain.
When people say organic soil, you actually get your soil and bring it in so to make sure it's as organic as you can do it. Because people say that, but what's to organic soil? What are we looking for?
Well, look, you can always send a soil sample to the Texas A&M Ag Extension Service, and UT has one too, but A&M is the biggest one, and they do it for free. Well, actually, it'll test your soil, and you're going to look for any known knowns, things like arsenic and mercury and things like that are in the soil that just actually prevented Michelle Obama from having her little garden. She thought she was just going to run and just dig in the soil and do it. So once you test the soil, you make sure there's nothing, no forward aggressive chemicals in them. Then now you can aggressively fertilize and treat your soil with organic nutrients and things that you need to continue that process on.
Where do you get your soil from? When you start, I know you do, and it
right out there. Just get out there and go.
No, I meant I've seen you actually go pick up soil.
Those are soil amendments. I usually take some soil amendments and add to it, but I'll usually if it's clay soil, I'll work with that and add amendments to it to help break it up. Ultimately, it came from here, and whatever I put back over there is going to have to get used to it. So it's just going to get a rich inundation of things in it to help it out. So
people use compost, right,
mm-hmm.
in their garden.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Or if you want to use compost, how would you do it, or what would be the best items to use for compost?
It should be your compost from your grass, your compost from your trees, your compost from your area, and you want it certified organic as much as possible, because they'll grab trees from out in the field somewhere and add it to the other stuff, and they'll just dump it, and they'll sit there. Okay, we got brand A, like at I won't call him out, but brand A, and they won't even claim it to be certified one way or the other. Just say it's just a bag of compost full of worms and nematodes and other stuff in there and chemicals. So you want to make sure that you get it from a certified farm, certified arborist that actually harvests those. Ultimately, your own grass clippings, if you do your grass, you can save those and allow those to help decompose. The problem with compost is that it always invites field mice, opossums. There's a couple others that love to get up in there. They would just crawl up in there and have a ball. So you have to be careful of what you're doing and where you do it at, and make sure you protect it. You use one of the above ground barrels that actually just have a barrel that put the clamps in there, close the lid, and it reminds you of the bingo thing. You just turn it and the soil flips over, it gets hot, you roll around again, and then kind of reuse your stuff. But the best thing is just check your soil and make sure that your NPK, that is your nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium numbers, are right. And there's test kits you can use to test that soil. Take a little sample, add a little water to it, and stick your little tape in there, and you can actually see what those numbers are. Each plant, each species, requires a certain level of NPK. It just turns out that okra likes everything low. It likes low acidity, low everything, because it pulls actually toxins out of the soil and filters that soil to a certain extent, and it actually feeds the okra pods and make them end up being actually healthy for you. It's kind of a yin and a yang, give and a take back in the soil. It's the only thing that does it. It's pretty amazing that it actually cleans up the soil for you. So the worse the soil conditions are, the more okra is going to thrive. It's the weirdest thing. It is the weirdest thing. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do some. Just do that. You can release the flavor. Some people just cut them in half and let them burn, and you can let the person pick through them. But I want the flavor to kind of get in there, so I'll do a little bit based on how much I got. And simple. And then I'm gonna, now it's just up to you. It's more of an artistic choice how you want to approach these. I like to cut them long. I like to cut them short way, wide way. This is just one method. I actually have another recipe that uses a cast iron skillet, and you're actually gonna scorch them, and actually, you want to char them. It's pretty amazing flavor. So that one's kind of mad. So see, the knife just kind of pushes through.
This is how you can tell. No,
if you can't put a knife through it, you're gonna have a hard time putting your teeth through it, or should I say your digestive tract through it.
Yeah, you can tell.
So, boom, and I just go like this.
Yeah. So delicious.
The slime is good for you. The seeds are good for you. The whole is good for you. Even if you do an infused water, which is I've been doing those more and more, you actually want the slow release of the vitamins and nutrients of the okra to do its thing. It's like that. A little bit of.
What species was that?
That was cowhorn and a little bit of Yalova Akoi. And I actually have the packages. I'll show you guys in a minute.
It's the red ones. What are they called again?
Alabama
Alabama Reds.
Mm-hmm. Alabama red. I caught them when they were small. This
And when you cook them, they turn green.
is,
The red goes away. It's so amazing. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, they do.
We were talking earlier about the benefits for people who suffer with diabetes and things like that. What were you telling me? It's got vitamin and stuff.
Yeah, some of my friends and customers have claimed that they lowered the A1C by having okra in the diet, several times a week, and he said he's been able to keep it under control, and he's pretty sure that it connected to it, and there's some reporting, some non-scientific reporting that actually doing studies. They're doing studies. There's some studies out there.
And on AI, I mean, it literally
is a clinical jury still out, or they back?
They're pretty sure. They just haven't figured out whether they want to use it to start treating people. I was reading that today because it's got vitamin C and it's got great fiber and stuff. I'm like, I don't know why, more people don't know if the medical profession is actually thinking about using it as a part of their nutrition suggestions for diabetics. That's, amazing that we don't talk about it.
Well, absolutely.
You think?
I know that some folks have claimed that it irritable bowel
syndrome, yeah.
Menstrual cramps. Oh my God, coming out of menopause, menstrual cramps. Ease that up. My neighbor, she had a baby, 45, 46. She said she was drinking okra water and eating okra, and she said that she didn't feel no pain. The doctor's like, "Girl, you're about to have a busted up baby. What are you doing?" And she said it was. She said it had to be the okra. And I forget where she's a country girl. I forget where she's from, but she basically took her delivery and her health into her own hands and didn't. I don't even think she took the epidural. She didn't take any of that. Epidural. Yeah,
really?
She didn't take any
She's
of that.
She's a brave girl.
Yeah. She took it.
No. Oh, really?
She said, "The baby's healthy. No skin issues, no colitis or nothing, or no brain issues."
But the funny thing is, okra is such an old, tradition. We think everybody knows about okra. We were talking today about our Mexican friends who, we literally had to share. We pulled it out because he grows okra at the house as well, and they did not. They said vegetable, and I was like, yeah, it's a vegetable. And I cooked, some for them, and they had never had okra. Not because they didn't like it, not because, what I'm saying? It was like, it's never been introduced to us. But now, the guy who works with the company that, what is that? Limousine service is what, Pakistani?
Yeah, he is from... Yeah, he is. He's
they told him as soon as he was. They told him as soon as he was diagnosed, they told him, "Oh, hey, go get that. Oh, you need to grow okra," and he has what? I don't know how much. He has a whole field of it. Is what he was sharing. So other people are hip to it, and it's in, like I would say, African Americans.
This is yesterday's harvest.
That's the reality.
Yesterday's harvest, and every couple of days I have to roll like this, or they'll see me. If I don't see them, they're going to see me. You don't want them to see you when they get that big, See, this is one of the other big ones. This is the heavy hitter. It looks a lot like the yellow koi, but they get bigger. Yellow koi don't get so big, and they're still soft, which is what you want.
In those, I noticed you could see the seeds, and they're still soft. It's almost like he had them in the refrigerator, but I could still see the seeds, and we were still able to cook with them, even though I thought they had grown too long, but really, you're right, they're made to be bigger. So, see how if he can do that.
So what I like about these is I've gotten now to where I've made so many batches I could tell based on how much I'm cooking it in a certain pot, how much oil to put in there. so that I don't have them steaming. I still want them to have a sauteed kind of effect where it's slightly golden brown, but not burning. And there's a little balance between what you're gonna do. And that right there is a good mix. That right there is a good mix for this pot. This is a 7.5 quart pot made by Analon. I won't give them a plug yet, but I like this because it's low. It's a very low quarter. I don't even think it's 4 inches tall, maybe 5 inches tall. So it allows the steam to get out of there quick. Whereas you have another stock pot that are 8 quart, and the others are tall stock pots for making your boiling your noodles or something like that. You try to saute in there, and steam just stays in there and just tear you up, and you end up with a soggy mess. So this way, you can do it like this. You don't have that problem. And I always salt the taste. This is pink Himalayan sea salt. It's one of the lower sodium content as opposed to a Mediterranean. And I think that's, sometimes put some thyme in there, but it's raining now. I would have got some fresh thyme and took it off the line. See if I pulled any. Pulled some the other day. I always got some fresh thyme. We walked right by it looking for the okra, but I got a big old plant there of fresh thyme. And fresh is way better than dry, so you want it fresh. It doesn't take that much because it'll take it in a whole other direction, just like garlic oil or ginger oil. So you really want to let the okra do what it does. And to the stove.
And we're hot.
Okay, so fresh from the garden. It's a hot stove near you. Not much left, but it has a unique color. It maintained its color and even got more intensified on some of the okras. And you got your olive oil and your onions started to release all of their goodness, caramelize, and they're not burned. So you don't want to overheat that olive oil. You end up plating it, and you end up with a dish like this for the masses. This is 5 blend okra. Could have been 6, but we had some tough ones out there. And then I did a simple thing with some tuna and some sweet bell peppers, shallots, and parsley, and egg. And it helps complement the okra. A little bit of cayenne pepper, and nothing but salt in here, and good old yellow onions. So we're gonna plate it for the people. Let them see what's up. It's not pretty good. That's the color you want. That's the intensity you want. So tuna and egg and whatnot.
Eating it.
We'll be able to go and pick some anytime
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
for that security. Secure.
Exactly. And then the mere fact that you can grow it in the pots. So even if people can't do it in their yard, they have the space, or maybe they're in an apartment or something, they can still be able to grow fresh okra like this and just go and pick it and prepare a dish for them, a meal. And then how long did it take you to saute this delicious okra?
Maybe 10 minutes with a big old gas iron. I got about 10 minutes. You just watch it, listen to the onions, and move it.
You keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Just watch the onions and see what they're doing. And then as they give up their juice, you want to keep it moving. The tender those okra are, the more they bounce back. They don't absorb a bunch of grease. They go in and saute and do what they want to do without having to fight it and add a whole bunch of stuff to it. And it's very minimal slime too. So, and it just so happens the slime is really, really good for you.
So it's not like the slime in an ice machine.
No.
What do you call it? Slime. Other people call it slime.
We call it, yeah.
What do you call it?
We call it slime.
How about Helix parmati? That is the snail. That is their first and second cousins. So they both move and leave a trail.
Yeah, it's very good. And you can taste the freshness of it, unlike the frozen okra, even, because people tend to cook with the frozen okra. right? But this fresh okra, and it didn't take you very you didn't have to have very many pieces of okra to prepare the dish. And so a few pieces can actually be a meal for a family.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. And then we have the food to accompany the okra. Today, like, this is really okra is one of my favorite vegetables.
Okay.
Actually. And so I like it boiled. Definitely like with but I need to use the pink salt.
Yes.
Right? And not just the white iodized salt. Because I like salt and pepper on my okra. And I like hot sauce. So did I mess it up with that?
You didn't mess it up. I was actually some cayenne pepper in the tuna saute. So.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. And cayenne pepper is a good source.
Good healing power. It's just healing power of pepper. It just goes in and does what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
This is our cameras for black pepper. So we have this white pepper. I have to sneak and use black pepper.
And so we have this dish. What is this called? I mean, it's tuna, it's egg, it's the beautiful colorful bell peppers, and onion.
And parsley.
So what is this called?
I gotta get a name for it. It's just something came to me that I thought
It's a Chef Eddie's delight.
Yeah.
And you can
like
eat
a
this.
casserole.
Right, it's like a casserole, but it tastes like an omelet, but not in the shape or form of an omelet, right? And it doesn't taste like just a breakfast food,
Right.
Because of the tuna in it. So it's like a dish you can eat anytime, so you can have eggs anytime instead of just at breakfast, right?
There's the pescatarians and the vegetarians. They both got something. Best is pescatarians because it's fish and egg. So everything that one can eat, the other can eat other than just fish. So you didn't want to do meat, and you can still, be all right.
Plenty of protein.
yeah, you'll be all right. And there's certain amounts of protein in all vegetables. It just so happens that okra's one that has a pretty good count, and some of the other squash have even higher count of protein.
Ready? Having been married to Chef Eddie for 30 years and counting, I can tell you personally, he's taught me a healthier way to enjoy even my favorite comfort foods. History shows us that cultures across the world bond, reconcile, and build lasting partnerships around the table while sharing a meal. And maybe, just maybe in this moment, having the right people gathered at the table representing the true heart of our nation could be the place to restart. Not in the ideology of making America great again, but in the act of making America greater through shared connection, healthier living, and authentic community. Thank you for joining us for Trending Tuesdays, Episode 1, Labor of Love, Okra Shenanigans. Brought to you by K. Davis and the Community Foundation. Until next time, remember, since we are what we eat better to live better. Live your best life now. All right. Living our best life now. How about that? Wow, I was telling Avery, now we're live, guys, all right? So understand the show, we had you sit through that. My husband been cooking all this food for all these years, for a year. So we thought we'd give him his own show and let him talk about that food out there, which y'all saw. That's the garden that's out there, and the okra that you eat. And we're gonna give away those watermelons that are there. He's giving away a couple of them. So you can take them home. They literally grow, and they don't get any bigger than that. The interesting thing about them, I was just telling one of the gentlemen that was over there, they're yellow meat, right? And they're striped. The seeds are striped. When he cut it last night, I'm like, I was afraid to eat it. I ain't gonna lie. I went and got went to Google and stuff, AI, and pulled up the seeds. They are really striped seeds. I'd never seen that before. And it's yellow meat, and it's like 1 million seeds in there, but it was sweet. and he's growing them out there because Edwin pulls things in from all over the world when he's, doing stuff. He's real adventurous like that. And so I just thought we kind of share with you what you see when you pass by. That's all okra. And y'all, we've gotten to where we're making so much okra, we're having to start selling it, Bridget. Really, you know what I'm saying? It's and we've had our first sale to a restaurant or what have you, because he's lit, right? Yeah, whatever. And we're gonna be out at Friendswood at the farmers market this weekend. That he's making, it's turning so much okra that we can't eat it, and to me, it's a shame to make that much food and then not. So we've been giving it away. You know what I'm saying? That's what, and we gave some down to the park, Tom Bass Park, to have a little garden, and we were there, and Edwin's, we're talking to them about some things where he may be doing some cooking lessons or things like that. So they had they said, well, this is our yield. I'm like, we get that, that's like at one place. We got him at home, we got him over here, we got him, by the time he finishes, you got 2 big bags of okra like that. That's amazing, right? Yes. So we're saying, well, God is blessing us to be a blessing. We didn't think it was going to turn like that. If y'all know anything about okra, at the first freeze, it's gone. When it freezes one time in Houston, it's gone. So when you found it in the store after that season, they're in Mexico. That's why when I was talking earlier about, she's from Mexico, and y'all don't know. That's where we get the okra from when it's cold here, or from the tropics, because it will not grow in the cold. Wow. Unlike collard greens and things like that they will. So look, he's got me talking like I know what I'm talking about. So, but guess what? For those that are watching online, and then for we love our Trending Tuesdayers who are here regularly and bringing us. Jeff is normally here. We know he's running for mayor. We talked about that, or what have you. But we've got some interesting folk here. It takes a special kind of person on a Tuesday to roll up here and come regularly. And we're gonna start. I told them, I said, hey, y'all gonna be the show? You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all all superstars. And so we're going to start. I have Pure Justice here. Joy is here with me. And I told her, what's on your heart? You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let her talk, and then we'll go to Brigitte and her handsome husband over there. They've been staying on Facebook. I don't know what they're doing, but we're going to let them talk to you about it. But we're going to start with Joy.
Thank you so much. What is on my heart? First of all, I'm thankful for the labor movement, because we were able to enjoy this time off. We were able to spend time with our families, and because of the horrible working conditions that people endured back then, and they fought and they organized against that, we're able to appreciate that now. So what's on my heart? I'm thankful for the work that we're doing in the community. I'm thankful for people like you who support the community in so many different ways, like through food, through holistic ways, through the arts. I mean, it's just amazing. And I'm also thankful for the work that we're doing at Pure Justice.
Okay.
And last week, it was a lot. We had, wonderful members like Ms. Fontenot and Tia there. They were going to court advocating for resources to go into the communities, instead of just funding law enforcement so much. Funding can go to arts programs, music, recreation, ways to actually make us safe, instead of just funding law enforcement all the time. Okay. And then some of the other things that we did, we helped to help the young man with participatory defense. We helped to get his case dismissed. Wow. And so the support and the work that we're doing out there, I'm thankful for Pure Justice, and I'm thankful for the members. I'm just thankful for everybody, because it takes a lot of us to do the work in the community. And because we have such wonderful and supportive people in this movement, we're able to get it done. And shout out to Sasha Leggett and Roshan Evans.
Right, always.
They are the founders of Pure Justice.
Always.
Thank you.
Okay. I forgot when she took us back to Labor Day, because one of the things I said when I pulled y'all was that Labor Day was yesterday, but it's Labor Day weekend, and we were shooting that little video y'all saw last night, and we got to talking about what people do for Labor Day. We think about it, what's the day off? Yeah. And then, my brother's here, and I remember they used to do family reunion. His dad was real big about that, and it was always Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
And so Tanya was sitting here, she said, but you know what? On Labor Day, because we looked it up and everything to see when it started and all of that, and it really did have to do with the labor movement, and everybody was off. on Labor Day. It didn't matter where you were, in the labor movement, you were off. So to have a family reunion on that day made sense, right? Because you didn't have to worry about cousin Bobo or whoever who may have been, trying to get it together, or working somewhere where, you had folk that, like you say, don't really respect, working 5 days a week. But they had Labor Day off,
That's right.
so everybody could come to the family reunion. But I never thought twice about why. But I know 4 people that were at family reunions this past weekend. And I'm like, okay, we need to, right now, y'all, we have to be real sensitive about our history.
That's right.
We having to, talk about it and keep it, and make sure we keep it at the forefront. So with that, we're gonna shift over. I got Bridget and her husband, and they can share. I've been seeing them all over Facebook, y'all, so they can share what's going on in their world. You ready? Are y'all hot?
Testing
so.
1, 2.
Yeah. All right.
You hot?
I'm hot.
Okay, well, I'm hot too.
Pause.
So you want to go first? No pun intended here, but you want to start or you want me to start?
Ladies first, right?
Ladies first, let's go.
I'm Bridget Waugh. We just got married in April, so we're somewhat newlyweds. What's that, 5 months? Thank you very much. You put a ring on it. So this past weekend, we hung out on Saturday with friends, barbecue, and it was very fun. And
Right.
had fun. But on Labor Day, I actually chose not to work, but I got those closets in our home together because I like to be organized. Closets, light to dark. And so it took me all day. I started at 9 a.m. and I didn't finish until 11 p.m. last night. What do you mean that's what I said? You came
Go
home
ahead.
with the closets not coordinated?
They were coordinated.
Thank you. But yeah, you've probably seen us a lot on Facebook, as Kay was saying. And catch us tonight. We're on Isaiah talking about why people are afraid to get married. And Tim and I will be on talking about that with Isaiah and 2 other people. We've been on there a lot. And then we were also in the running for America's Favorite Couple from Variety Magazine. And what else? What have we been doing?
That's pretty much it, but we've been.
That's a mouthful. Why people are afraid to get married?
Yeah.
Well, the story is Tim and I dated back in high school, so this is 40 years. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
He snuck
wow.
into my LinkedIn DMs.
Yeah, that's a story. That's a story, but
Okay.
Tell me
But-
what you do, babe.
Well, okay, so I totally agree. Labor Day does mean something significant when we're really talking about the perspective of what labor used to be like and what it is today. However, individuals that are out there in the world that are healthcare providers don't necessarily have the opportunity to always, support and feel that day is that day for us. In other words, if you're in a hospital or any type of facility with individuals, you kind of don't want us to go barbecue. So in essence, we're there to be that essential personnel to make sure that individuals are taken care of, maybe at a low, volume of staff, but we're still there. So it's not really a Labor Day, if you will, for individuals that are healthcare providers. But we do like the idea of getting off as soon as possible, so, it's still a matter of, Labor Day is an important holiday because it does reflect the importance of what it means to labor in the day. But we also have to be real about, life, death, and what's the experience of what's necessary that needs to keep the world going. Now, what I will say, what's on my heart, I think it's time nowadays that we take inventory on what does it mean to really be with who we are. Now, we are newly wed, we're newly married, and one of the things that I did do was write a book some time ago, 2023, called The 3-Day Getaway, and it's the fun platform for couples communication. The most important aspect of this particular book, besides the hashtag denting divorce, is to get individuals to know that this is not only a time for people to come together, but this is really a time to have to be united. And if you can't do that within your own home, it's kind of hard to do that elsewhere. So it just points out the impact and the importance of why we need to really look at home and get home clear before we start really seeing where we're trying to go elsewhere. So it's a form of, not the own methodology, but it's a methodology that, in a sense, it's fun, but it's on 3 days. And the premise is really to push, here are the words, accountability, responsibility, and transparency. And although that's a lot on a 3-day opportunity, I would have to say, because it's not just a weekend, it's an opportunity to really get to know who you have that you like, so you can say why you love them. So that's
I love that.
my words for the day.
Was it a retreat? I mean, what's,
I'm sorry?
was it a retreat? Is it a thing where people join and sign up, and I mean, or it's just the concept?
It's the concept of two individuals literally taking themselves, not only important, but themselves that are important, and the entire world is nothing to them. They have to learn what it means to be about them, to know that they are fighting the world, not themselves.
Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
you can
Look
find
at-
it on Amazon.
Okay.
Currently, right now, it does have a workbook, but for the most part, it's an easy read. It's something that should not take any longer than about maybe, 2 hours if you're reading it fast enough. But you might want to go back because there's a lot of quotes, and there are things that kind of hit you. But for the most part, there's a secret way of the transparency, and for those that actually do it, you'll find that it opens up that point of accountability.
Oh, well, we may need to have you bring your book and have it available, and have some conversations around that, because that's a thing, honestly, and people struggle with it.
Yes,
We've been
yes.
married 30 years, praise the Lord, but it's a commitment.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You have to be in it, get some skin in there, and things like that. So we appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, my Chef Eddie is busy. Y'all just saw the whole thing, and he ran around here giving people watermelon and stuff. Now, I wanted this other. I want this. Who's going to talk about voting real quick? Okay, I'm gonna let her come talk about voting. Thank you, Pure Jeff. No, before you go though. Okay, it was people down there marching. We don't hardly watch local TV, do we? We so busy watching the national, they keep us so busy, or what have you, or the state. But I saw people down there, and the ex-mayor, Denise Parker, was with them and all that. I said, y'all be marching, so were y'all part of that?
No, we weren't there.
It was the Hilton. Come on, Chef
Oh,
Eddie.
yeah, where the workers were, where they were striking on strike.
Yeah. I'm like, people still do that?
They're doing it.
Without getting fired? Because, they did union busting. Okay, we're gonna bring her. Thank you. Bring the okra down as well while we're gonna thank you. And Pure Justice, and there's another young lady. We got our artists. We have folk, I think we have the best audience in the world. Because it takes a unique person to find what we do even interesting enough to come back, and you bring your own uniqueness with you. Now, I was telling her, we're going to have the audience talk, just like Berndine's over there. I don't know what's on her heart. I think we turned her into an advocate. She was down at Austin testifying and all that kind of stuff like that. So we're going to let us wave at you. But share with me what you asked me about voting. We tried to do a voting, y'all, here last year. And we met some people to help us learn how to do it. We didn't do a great job, but they're going to work with us. So
Before
share.
I get started with voting, I just want to let you all know the first Monday in September
Talking to
is
Mike.
Labor Day. And also the first weekend before Labor Day is the Labor Day Classic at TSU and Prairie View. And so with that, we were getting kids out to register to vote. A lot of them come from different states and cities, but in the state of Texas, it doesn't matter where you come from, you can vote early. And so we are recruiting people to encourage other people to sign them up to vote so we could be a part of the voting family here on November the 4th, I think, 2025. And so I just want to remind you, if you want to volunteer, it's up to you, because Labor Day is social and economic American workers, and they were either paid or they wasn't paid, but they got out and did the job anyway in the community. And we have like caretakers, we have people taking care of their own families. They're working every day, and they don't get paid for it, but they get the reward, and it's very important.
Let me ask you something. Well, my daughter, we were talking about voting and these voting age. You were talking about students.
18 and over.
How easy or hard is it to get them to realize how important it is to vote? What's that like?
It depends on how the student is connected. If it's law students or government, public affairs, they see the importance in voting. But the other young people don't see the importance in voting. They always just see the importance in giving. And I think what you have to reflect or tell them, look, if you don't vote, you're saying you don't want the resources that are available here. I don't know if you all know, recently at Wesley Square, they had some major problems with the conditions of the buildings and everything. When we went out there, we told them, you gotta have a voice, and your voting is your voice. And if you choose not to vote, you choose not to have a voice in society. You're telling us you don't care about your kids, you don't care about your community. Or you can start today and start caring about your community, start caring about your children, your family, the area you live in. You know, you don't have to own property to keep property up. But we notice people who rent and who don't own property, they're like some of the slum landlords. They don't keep the property up. They don't take the trash out. They don't care. And we're saying, look, you need to start caring about yourself, your community, your kids. And the way you do that is start voting. Saying, I want to be a part of Houston. I want Houston to be clean. I want Houston to reflect greatness, and start with our community with greatness.
You know, is there does anybody in the audience have any like suggestions? I mean, that's the thing. I have 5 people under 30 work for me, right? And I just started asking them, you vote?
No.
You know, and they voted in college, you know, but you haven't been in college in a few years, so, and some of them moved from, one young lady moved from Mississippi to here, she's from Tennessee, and she just, kind of shrugged her shoulders and, and I'm like, seriously? If you live in Houston or in Dallas, those major cities, and you don't realize that your voting makes the difference in your life and what you're doing, and they don't. So if y'all got some ideas, y'all send us some emails, and we'll, as we kind of go through the year, Jeff will be back in a couple of weeks, and we'll be talking about, be coming up on politics and some other stuff, because they keep us busy with the politics. But that's the thing. We worried about these young people not caring about voting. They say it doesn't make a difference. They feel like it's not gonna matter if I vote, that kind of, and they're serious. It makes me think we need to start like in high school or junior high school differently with how we explain to them how to live and what this thing and how it connects or what have you. So you got something? You can go right to that mic and just quickly, and then we're gonna let Chef Eddie tell us a little bit about what he dumped here on the table before we stop to and enjoy the food. Tell us your name and then.
I'm Davine Harness.
Okay.
I usually attend the Trending Tuesdays.
Right, you are.
Very enjoyable.
I'm gonna need you talking to that mic though.
Okay, push it up. Yeah. Okay. One of the major problems, and I think I've said this here before, is we have lost connection with our kids. We have to find a way to connect with young people, some kind of way, because we have lost them. Or they're ahead of us in AI, but they are lost when it comes to community, when it comes to voting, and we have got to find a way to connect with them. So I like just going out to the campus, talking to students. We got to know who Kendra Lamar is. We have to know who
Yes, we do.
Torre is. These are all young people. Those are our leaders. So we, as more mature adults, seniors or whatever you want to call us, we got to find a way to connect with them. And I think once we do that, we might can solve some of the problems.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but there's a lot of years when music and some other things and movies and other things are influencing, our youth, and our schools are not turning and doing what they need to be doing. I'll be real honest. I feel like public schools really should be preparing those kids starting in junior high school to understand, because also in the homes, like with me, raised by grandparents, I have folk who actually went through some stuff, so they told me about poll tax. They told me, you better, you have to vote, and you know what I'm saying? I got to see it and understand it. So I had a different appreciation for it. But somewhere on the line, they think they're okay and it's all good, or it doesn't make a difference. And I think one of the things, I'm a Christian as well, so I feel like when we're not doing and doing what God would have us do, sometimes He kind of let us, let us have it, and and that way you get to go on and reap what you sow. And we've been acting a certain kind of way, and I feel like a lot of that brings about the kind of things we're having to go through right now. I think we need to get back to basics and raise our children and take care of our own communities, whether churches are just doing what we're doing right now. I think it matters.
And Kate, one of the things is that the family is the most important institution on earth, because the family connects you. The family helps develop you. The first time the learning comes from the mother. The first teacher in the life of a child is the mother. And if a mother is not there, even if the community is there, but if the mother is not there nurturing, sometimes they have the grandmother and the grandparents have stepped in. But we have found a lady who is helping teenagers who have kids and they don't have nobody and they are not connected. And I was wondering, I said, what is happening to the family? Structure. We don't have structure. And so kids, they feel like they can just go by the wayside. They can do whatever they want to. They don't have no parameters, no guidelines, and so a lot of times you can't get their attention. But a gentleman told me from the other side, he was Jewish. He said, Eleanor, the month of September is going to be an open eye for the American people. And if you don't have your stuff together, here's a panic button. When panic hit, chaos hit. How do you bring people together? That sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But he said if he thinks what's getting ready to happen will open the eyes of the American, how much more would it open our eyes of what's going on? Because our communities are going to be hit hard just like the other communities. Our communities might not have the money that the other communities have, but if we have the togetherness and how to work and help one another and not be selfish. And I think the kids that are brought up today, they are brought up to look at life as one-sided. No, look at life as a whole. And we play a part in that puzzle. I think we'll really work and open their eyes. And they'll come. You'd be surprised the kids that will come together when they know a storm is here. Because I was out in Kerr County, we're going back, and I just want you to know I was really scared because we saw arms, we saw legs. We have never seen anything like that in America. But it was happening mostly to the wealthy. But in the outlying areas, we had people that looked like you and me that was feeling the effects of it and the devastation. They wouldn't put it on TV. They buttered it up, but the devastation was still there.
Was it a storm or something?
On 4th of July,
Oh,
the
okay.
flood came in
Oh.
Kerr County, Kirbyville, Hunt. The wealthy homes was swimming.
Okay.
We knew the little shacks was gonna,
Right.
And I heard an elderly black guy, he's 90 years old. He said he told the people he worked for that didn't look like you and me that he said, I know how to get out of here. And they said, we listened to Mr. Joe, because Mr. Joe knew the back roads, how to get up them hills. So I'm saying, we all in this together. We have to help one another, and that's what they had to do. And if what happened in Kerr County, this was just a flood, Kay, it was horrible. And of course, they had to lie about it. I guess it's fine with me, because it was just sad what happened.
Now, the interesting thing, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to bring Chef over, what you said about where it starts with the family,
Yes.
with the husband and the wife, to me goes back to what she's saying. Because if y'all can't get it together, you can't raise your kids. Did the kids see what they, you say one thing, but they see you, and then they imitating. So I think that gets back to what you said earlier about starting with the family and getting it together so that you can have that first nucleus, which is the husband and wife, right?
That's right.
That is correct. And I want to coattail off of the young lady that was here earlier, and the shameless plug of the okra water is great. I think from one thing that we've never done, and I think that it's time that we start identifying how things have been done and how things do work, is we don't have a super PAC. Let me go into it a little deeper. Advertisement is very powerful. That's why everybody that's a politician is asking for $1, $5, all this other stuff. But what we have never had are those individuals that are the stars, the Kendrick Lamars, all of these people going on advertising why it's important and watching them go in and vote.
And vote.
We don't have that story. We don't
We
have
should
those
do more of
visions.
that. Okay.
We need to have a PAC, or as they call it, super PAC, PAC, whatever you want to call it, to start putting money into these entertainers, because a lot of the young people are following these young people.
They are. That's
So
right.
if we have something that economically allows them to see, I'm talking about the stars, because, Dave Chappelle says something really funny. He got paid by Coke and he got paid by Pepsi. Really? Both of them taste the same. So in all fairness, it's not about, well, do I have the ethics to have to think about, does it mean anything to actually vote? We all know there's a value and there's a need, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't be trying to take away from it.
Right.
But
Right.
we don't have something we've never done. We've never had money, or we've never had the ability to use money to direct and have power to the narrative of why voting is important. We can speak on it in churches. We can speak about it on the corner. We can even go door to door. But at the end, because I've done that even when I was a kid, I would do the walk and knock on the door and try to get people, to sign and things of that nature. So it's kind of intimate to me as well about what does it mean. But what I can tell you is I've had arguments with my people on it doesn't matter. So that's not a theme of the young, it's a theme, period.
Okay.
So until we get some more, I hate to say that we're having to use a certain specific way to get things done, but unfortunately, the way things run and the way things that rule and get people's influence is to put it out there and get people to agree to it. When you see more people that look like them at their age that they're willing to follow, they'll do it. Beyonce, great opportunity. Get her on TV and watch her walk in and say, I'm going to vote, and walk in. I can guarantee you that one image will meet more than the people in here going door to door. That's my word.
Oh, it
And
sounds
again,
like
great-
Brigitte. All of y'all who know Bridget is marketing specialist. Sounds like you got an assignment. I really think that's a great idea, because when you say get the young to say go vote, and they're doing it, a lot of things that they don't have to understand, but if y'all noticed that video we had on the other day, I had that little skirt on, but I had my cowboy boots on.
Oh, yes.
But I had my cowboy boots on because we was going out in we was going to the garden. And so Tanya had her toes out. I said, girl, you're going to get bit. There's no telling what. I knew to put my boots on. But see, folk not knowing would thought I was trying to be stylish, because after that Beyonce tour, that's exactly what was going on. You was wearing everything with boots and that kind of thing. So I do think that's a great idea. And I'm going to charge you with, now you said you see it. You got Pure Justice in the room. You got these people that register people to vote, Bridget. You got something to work with. And you marketing. I think that's a great idea. You know how to reach out people and stuff like that. I think because we do here do the voting registration. That's how we met them, because we were trying to register people to vote. So I say you got a coalition. We're going to count on you. We're going to check back coming up on November and see if you kind of pushed at that. And that's what you say, getting celebrities, in other words, to lead. Because a lot of them are really wise. They get it. They really do get it. So now with that, it's getting late. So we got Chef Eddie at the table. He's ready. He's got food for you. I'm gonna give him mine. He can talk a little bit. You can tell us what we got for supper. But no, he can have mine. And then he's got Avery, if you can get it, the cookies. I think he's got watermelon. I know he's given away a few of them that came out of the garden. And the okra. Now what we've been doing, I think that's 14, 16 ounces. The raw okra, we've been selling it $5 a bag. So if there's, you guys, I think he's got them loaded over there. If you guys want some okra to take home, Edwin's going to be doing a thing where he shows you how the different ways to prepare it. So you can, here, real quick before we go.
Is that your phone?
That's my phone. That's okay.
Okay.
We're live and
Alrighty.
everything goes. It's all good.
To whomsoever will, if you either have a glass of wine or some okra water, let's toast to our health and our nutrition and another successful Training Tuesday. Doing it the right way. This is how you bring in every holiday and every year forward. So cheers, God bless all, and let's do this more often. My marketing and outreach department put together this flyer. I've just now seen it for the first time. Looks like I fussed because she had taken images off the internet of other people's product, and I was like, I got a garden out there, you better get out there and get busy. So she finally captured some of my okra and some of my pans and my actual stuff. So that's kind of neat that they actually did that. So it's got a little QR code and some other stuff in there. So just trying to push the, in the images in our face about the health and the necessity of having it organically. You can't shake a stick at that. Can't beat cancer, as they say. So this is my first attempt at growing watermelon from Turkey. It is organic seed. And each seed seems to have a little slightly different pattern. It's an aggressive seed. One of them looks like a handprint on them. The other one looked like a cross and an X. So I keep noticing different nuances about the seed. It's orange meat, and they're personal sizes, so they were never going to get, super big. They held on to the water. They held on to the nutrients that I gave them all season, and their flavor is almost close. The closest thing I can think of is cantaloupe. It's orange like a cantaloupe, and then you think cantaloupe in your brain, but then it goes a slightly different direction. So it's definitely chef approved, as everything I try to do. What's neat about it, like this, they grow like all watermelon do. For those of us really from the country, we had that experience where you get the vine actually starting to brown a little bit, and that's the time to pick it. That means it's not accepting any more nutrients or anything else off the vine. It's going to do it all within itself now. So that's the best time to pick it. Since they are personal sizes, if you have one that still has a lot of green on the stem, and you say, okay, it's about as big as a volleyball, it's time to pick this one. So you can go and pick it, and the stem will brown off and do what it needs to do anyway, so you don't have any over-ripening meat and all. So it's a unique thing. I'm going to try to keep introducing new things. If I can grow them first, and I'll keep putting them out for everybody. Like I said in some of the videos, there's just some different grab bags of the okra species. This one is called cowhorn. It's kind of sleek and it's pretty interesting. This is Alabama red. I don't know if you can see, but it actually has some, you can see the way the sun hits it, like the sun grabs the east morning sun, hit it. And the back is west, which is blocked by my neighbor's house. So it gets one side of the sun all day long. It's pretty interesting. And depending on how stressed out they were or how much water they had, size does not necessarily mean fibrous or chewy. So you still have a very nutritious thing. And then I've got also a heavy hitter. These are heavy hitters. They can get really big, and they still tender even when they get really big, I found. So kind of neat. You'll find the okra water is made out of the same okra. This time I used the wild motherland okra from Ghana. So that's what I used to do the infused water. So I'm using the Arctic sea water, which is 3 parts potassium, magnesium, and alkaline. So it's a filtered water from Dream Tree, one of my sponsors. And tonight's menu, since you hit the bell, oh my goodness, we did some sauteed spinach, simply sauteed spinach with some shallots and some fresh herbs from the garden. We did grilled lamb chop loin, marinated in balsamic vinegar. You know how I like to do it, those of you who've been here before. And of course, I have also the organic jasmine rice with a little bit of butter and herbs in there as well. So you get a little bit of best of both worlds. We got cookies, we got watermelon, we got wine, got good company, and glad y'all are here.
Okay. All right. Well, come on.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Go to.
Is that Alabama okra from Alabama or something?
I honestly believe all okra came from the motherland. It came on the transatlantic slave trade with us and dispersed everywhere where we went. Some landed here, some landed there, and then they probably stole the name and said, "Oh, this is going to be Alabama red because you colors brought it here." So they took it and called it that. So they all have
it in Alabama too now.
Yeah,
he uses seeds, y'all. I don't know if for those of you who got any gardeners out there, do y'all know what it's like with somebody who takes seeds and then they start soaking them? You know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, in the garage, we have a storage shed now, but in the garage, he's got that light, and then there's a period of time when he's letting them sit in the light, and they get about that big. You know what I'm saying? He goes through that whole process, and eventually he transplants it to the ground, and then he grows up. He is serious. You get me? So when it's serious enough for me for it to matter, because he's going to be consistent, and we'll be here. So if there's ever anything that you need to learn, or you want to grow some stuff in a pot, that's the thing I think that's important. If you don't have ground and you don't want to grow a garden and you want to grow it in a pot, you can grow okra in a pot and some of the other things, and it literally will produce every day, and you can go out there and take enough to do breakfast and some other things like I do. We have them. I'm spoiled. I go right out the back, and I just cut them fresh, and I'll slice them and eat them, and I make egg and omelets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to realize where food comes from. We think it comes from the store. It literally comes out of seeds, and you know what I'm saying? These are seeds that would grow a watermelon. He had one seed.
Took off and just ran like the river.
We got watermelon. We're giving these watermelons away. Y'all, we want, people to understand. Sometimes you don't really have to starve. And they talk about Sunnyside is a food desert with all this dirt. You know what I'm saying? We just have to, come from a real place and understand and teach. We need to, get back to some basics about things. You know what I'm saying? You had something you want to get to the mic and say? Oh, okra water. She said benefits.
When it's infused like that in a filtered water state, it actually removes all the nutrients and minerals, trace minerals that's in okra, you get it without having all the fiber that you would have in it if
You get it in the water.
Yeah, so it releases it in the water, and you get all the essence of it in the water, and it's
Without eating okra.
it's easier to get in your bloodstream and assimilate. Through the water, gets there faster than having to go through the digestive tract. It just immediately hits your bloodstream and gets busy. Oh my goodness, the benefits are astronomical, as is the greener part of the rind, and even the seeds of the watermelon are loaded with trace minerals in our diet, and they're saying now that helping with testosterone and helping with all kind of things in our diet. So you just be surprised at the simplest things in their wholesome flavor, in their wholesome form, what it does for you.
Well, I'll buy the first bag of okra.
All right, I'll make sure I pick one for you. It's a little tender.
Yeah.
There's more on the table, so help yourself. So.
Right. Oh, that's
So anyway,
sweet.
but yeah, here.
Okay,
Cheers. Yeah,
Any more
yeah.
questions, though, before we eat? Any more questions about just food or just things? I think I wanted
Come on over
today.
the mic. Come over to the microphone so they can.
You had a question? Oh, sweetheart, come on. And this is our first time here tonight, so, all right. We hot, Avery? She has a question.
Well, I necessarily don't have a question. It's more so just about the community base of everything, such as where everything.
He's gonna make you hot. You know hot. Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, so I was
There
just
you go.
saying, like, with the community-based things, such as, like, piggybacking off of some of the things that I had heard, I do believe that it does start from the family, such as communication style. I'm an 89 baby, so I kind of see the dynamic of both worlds of the older generation versus the younger generation. And it's more so the way, I believe, it's the communication versus talking to them versus talking at them. It's the difference to them. Yeah, so when they feel like they're not being heard or seen, talking at them makes that even more vivid. So I just believe it is going to be a community thing where we all have to be open-minded to hear one another, because they know more of the technology base of things, where the older generation know more of the practical ways and things like that. And I believe on both sides needs both.
Right.
We need the technology knowledge, and they need the survival of how all of that came about,
Right.
that they don't know. And we all will be lost without each other at the end of the day if we don't come together to bring both worlds together, But I know every generation was taught and brought up very differently through each generation of how they, how they were raised, from their household. That's why I say depending on the environment, whether it was the home, whether it was the community, all that plays a major part in all of how a person is shaped. That's why, at the end of the day, you aren't supposed to judge, because the person is the way they are because of how they were shaped and what formed them into who they are. Even people who are older who continue to be, the way that they are, is because they never found a way out of that or found someone who could mold them out of that, because everything comes from experience, whether it's good or bad, but at the end of the day, it's gonna definitely take open-mindedness, and we have to get the kids to be open-minded, but at the end of the day, they want to really feel heard versus just like they're a problem. A lot of them feel like they're a problem, because I talk to children and just see where their mental and things of that sort is at, and it all comes from the mind, because it's the mind and everything follows after that, so. Like I say, I believe it does start from home, and once we get that dynamic base first with just communication, I feel like that will be definitely a starter, icebreaker.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
problem.
This is her first time coming, y'all. And she's of that generation that we're trying to snatch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep coming. Bring some folk with you and we'll figure out some stuff together. All right. So with that, y'all, we're going to shut down the podcast.
I got
put
one
some
more.
music on.
I got one more.
One more?
Those of you that are curious, this is another image, another snapshot to take of what retirement looks like. So I said that for the folks over 60.
Retire. I don't need to. Now, one more thing. This artist, the artist that did this painting you see behind me is here. Y'all know we love art here at K. Davis, and we support our artists, our community, just like we do the creatives. We try to be about the whole person. And she's here. She came and we met her. And we bought that painting that you see right there, but I want you to know she's so talented. So if you are interested in art, we'll keep you just keep coming, and we'll keep talking about it because we got some other things coming up. All right.
Can't have
Thank
that
you.
one though. Can't have that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Ange, and he did that at the Christmas party. So thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your week. And we're gonna eat now. Okay.
Absolutely. Hoorah.
Okay. Let him get it together, and then he'll be serving in just a minute. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, come on, sweetie.